Hi friends. So let's start today's analysis. I think in terms of Indian market, it was a very flat market. Nothing much the indices did. Probably tomorrow holiday. That's why probably the action was less. But a lot of things are happening globally, and a lot of things are hitting our markets globally. So we'll just pick up those things one by one. So yesterday when the market was closing, we were, the Dow futures were up around 320 points, and Nasdaq was up around 105, 110 points or so. But ultimately, the session happened in US, which was pretty weak. So Dow almost closed just on a flat line, around 30, 35 points up. It actually went negative as well. And Nasdaq was closed pretty negative. It's around 0.7% or so. So it's closed now in red three times in a row. So US markets, what they were showing in terms of futures, actually did not perform in that way. And the result was that today the Asian markets were also under a good amount of pressure. So Hang Seng market, when they opened, they were around 2.5% down. Shanghai, when it was closing around 0.8% down. Nikkei also closed around 1.35% down. Kospi was also negative. So only the Indian markets today, which were slightly resilient, and they traded most part of the day in green, except for last half an hour when we had some kind of small selling and we closed in red, where both Nifty and Bank Nifty and all are small cap and mid cap. Apart from that, I think Trump again gives some shivers to the world. Uh, he again told that he's ready to put the sanctions. The due date is coming near, and he'll be putting sanctions on Mexico and Canada as he has promised. And the other sanctions or other tariffs are also they're being worked out and probably they'll be in place as and when the date comes. So this again puts some jitters in the Asian markets, probably on the US markets as well. Although the Dow features, although this news came after the market hours of the US, and still the futures were trading in green. They were not much of an impact, but let's see how the actual session pans out. But the Asian market, as I told just now, were pretty weak, and they were slightly cautious with this tariff wars. Dollar index has not is not moving as such anything up and down even with this news. So today also it went slightly negative. It went to around 106.2 kind of a level, which was 2 months low. Then again inched back and probably is now trading around 106.6, which is again lower than 107. And now most of the market participants are starting to believe that the 110 kind of a level of the dollar index has probably topped out. This is what we have been also maintaining for last 1 or 2 months, until unless we have a very big tariff war. So if that happens, we have to wait and see how dollar reacts. But if it remains as what Trump is being announcing and what he's been saying, then probably 110 levels are gone. But we might see some volatility in coming days and coming weeks to come. So we should be eyeing, or we should be keeping a close watch on this dollar index now from now onwards, especially March first week onwards to April first week. Rupee actually opened 5 paisa higher, but it could not sustain at one point of time. We were around 55 paisa down. Eventually, we closed around 45% down, but so we had a big move today on the rupee as such. Even when the dollar index has not moved much, but we saw a lot of pressure on rupee. I don't know why, but probably I think most of the currencies were trading lower, and that is why to remain competitive in the export market, I think we allowed our currency to drift lower. Otherwise, there was no reason because dollar index has not moved, but the other currencies, because the tariffs started moving down in terms of dollar, and we also in the same race and to remain competitive with respect to exports, probably allowed our rupee to drift. Again, this is not a good positive trigger for FIs. They're anyway selling our securities. They're anyway selling our shares, and that gives them another reason. Canada PM was not happy with the announcements of Mr. Trump on putting tariffs on Canada and Mexico. Anyways, what she thinks and she tells is that they've already taken steps. They've already deputed around 10,000 troops on the borders. They're trying their steps to reduce those drug cartels and all those things. But when she saw this kind of comments from Trump, she became angry and she told, okay, we'll also put a lot of counter tariffs on US. Then she put actually allegations on US that the illegal weapons what Mexican drug dealers are getting from US, and probably they are infusing those drugs into their market as well. That is what the counter allegations came from Canadian Prime Minister. And she also urged all the nations to come together and put counter tariffs on US because she believed whatever they are doing is pure muscle power and pure twisting of arms. And I also believe so, but okay, my belief does not matter so much. But the problem is, I think the time has come for unification. This is not the way to, this is not the way to negotiate. This is not the way to bring somebody on your own terms. I mean, there are a lot of free trade agreements which have been signed with different countries. US is not even honoring those things, and so these things will put a lot of if and buts into the minds of people of US also, and that is the reason why yesterday, sorry, there was a big deal in terms of bond purchases. I think $75 billion of bond were purchased yesterday. It's a record of I think 2 or 3 years, and that is why the bond deals were also under pressure yesterday, and they were touching around 4.37 kind of a levels now. So that helps us a lot, but the reason does not help us because people are shifting towards this safe havens as we call it. Dollar again was gold again was hitting at all-time highs because of this worrisome factors which Trump is announcing. The people they are not at all happy because and that is why we are seeing that continuous selling is coming from US markets. They're not able to hold at the higher levels, and if this war continues, I think it will be US also to be highly affected. It's not that they'll be immune to it. They might face a lot of consequences as well. Apart from that, I think Nvidia results are awaited today, and the market would be watching closely for that. Uh, the reports are saying that Nvidia, in terms of institutional investors now, they're in the lowest shareholding pattern right from April or May 2023 onwards. The highest shareholding in Nvidia now is retailers. As usual, all the smart players will actually come out of the stock, and all the retailers remain. That happens in US as well. That is the most foolish segment who always owns the shares at the highest level, and probably when they uh, uh, you know when they have to exit, they never exit. Anyways, the market will watch for that. Apple has announced that they'll be doing $500 billion of investment in US for the manufacturing, etc., all those things, and they'll be creating around 20,000 jobs. This is to appease Mr. Trump that yes, we are very close to our country, and we want to give message that we are there for making the America great again. I don't know what was the purpose of it, but Apple has been manufacturing their iPhones, most of them in India and China. But that is what is announced. I don't know how much investment will actually happen, but this is what the announcement was done. Today, I think there is a board meet also within the shareholders. Let's see what it comes out of that. But the market will actually be waiting for the Nvidia result because that is something which moves the markets up and down in a drastic way. But so that is from the US. That is from the Trump. We already discussed. Now today I was seeing an interview from Mr. Rogers, who is very big investor in Asian markets and emerging markets. I just give you 2 3 points which he told. So he told that gold has topped out and he is putting or is taking out his investment. Or at least he's not putting new money in gold. He's still bullish on silver because the relative comfort is now in silver. He is not bullish at all on the US markets. In fact, he has sold all his shares in US markets. He is pretty confident about the economy of India and probably he thinks now is the time to invest in India. This is a time where the investment opportunities have emerged in India, and that's a reason why he will be putting a lot of money in India now. Anyways, we have been seeing a report from CLSA, Citi, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan. All these are bullish on India now with these kind of levels, and most of them are giving a target of around 26,000. So, anyways, this is a February series. We all know that FIs does not give exit to HNIs and the retail players. They are short in the market for in terms of derivatives, and they will not give exit. That's the reason probably we are seeing more kind of selling at these levels. But fundamentally and theoretically, in terms of earnings and all, probably the market bottom is already there. That is what these big brokerages also think. Jim Rogers think, and many of the people who participate in the market like me also think, and that's what I've been advocating also. See, nobody knows the bottom. Nobody knows what is the reason of the selling. Why are they selling more in India? Why are they not selling? Because there are a lot of relative merits which FIs see in different countries. And most importantly, if they're short on the derivative market in India, seeing the participation of DIs and HNIs in India, they get a lot of chance and they get a lot of opportunity to capitalize on their shorts and bring a lot of profit out of it. See, in India, the problem is the only persons who sell shares is only the FIs. Rest all are buyers. HNIs they like to buy, retail always like to buy, DIs are always buy by default. So there is a lot of the selling in the part in Indian stock market is very less. The sellers, if you see big sellers, are only the FIs. So that's the reason why when they sell, they probably short the markets and they try to earn both the ways. They earn profits out of their stocks and at the same time they earn profit on the short positions also. So this is what Jim Rogers said that we have discussed. Uh, in terms of European markets, they're also pretty stable. So one trade which was going on in the Hang Seng markets, wherein it was growing up, it was moving up very fast. I think there was a break which happened today slightly. It happened 2.5% down, but eventually it climbed around 1.5%, close only 1% lower. But as I told you yesterday also that most of the brokerages now are not bullish on Asian markets except for India. Anyways, the MSCI index of China has given a returns of more than 25% in last 1 year, whereas India has been minus 7%. So India has actually dramatically underperformed all its world peers and Asian peers immensely. Whether you compare it with European markets, Japanese markets, US markets, or any other Asian markets, we have grossly underperformed. So now probably the chance has come. Now probably the time has come that this particular market can give you an upside return. It can surprise the markets, and probably relatively now a lot of value is being seen in Indian markets. So as what Mr. Rogers is also saying, I also feel the same that the US market is grossly overvalued. I don't know why the market is not melting down. The kind of inflation they are seeing, witnessing sticky inflation, the kind of sticky labor report, the kind of tariff war which US wants to initiate, uh, the kind of debt which these people have created, and the kind of mismatch. I already told you that they're trading at around 2.05% of their GDP. That's the market cap they're trading at. And the 70% of world's stock market cap comes from US, and they're only contributing 30% to the entire GDP of the world. So it's actually overvalued by two and a half times. US market should actually fall 30, 40, 50% from here. Then only it will come to fair value. All these foreign brokers of US which try to uh, you know bring a lot of value in India by telling India is fairly valued, overvalued, undervalued. Their own markets are grossly overvalued. When it will melt, we don't know. Mr. Rogers have given a prediction that it will melt in 2025 itself. A lot of other horoscope readers are also saying the same, but we can't believe in all those things. But the fact is, yet it is overvalued. Even there was a note from I think JP Morgan Stanley in US that uh, the time is coming very near when you will see a rotation of money from US to Asian markets. Let's see when it happens. But he also told that the time has come. But the only silver lining which US markets probably have is that their earnings have been becoming pretty good. That's the only support which is there with them. But if the interest remains so high, inflation remains sticky, then probably we are seeing some things lower. On the tariff war, I think we already seen the movement of rupee, so it has depreciated very sharply. Dollar index is still stable, so I don't know why that is stability is being shown. But whatever understanding economists have done in terms of the impact of tariffs, and India has anyways reduced some tariffs to appease US. And apart from that, whatever is left out, economists at least are saying that will not have a direct impact on the tariffs. But if at all there's a big tariff war which happens between different countries of the world, then India can also not be, remain uh, away from it. We'll also be a part of it and we'll feel the pain. So next month will remain volatile. In terms of Indian markets, I think yesterday also I gave a view that now you can short the markets on every rise. 22,800 can be a stop loss or 22,850 can be a stop loss. The the market texture will only change now when we start closing above 23,000 levels. Below that, it will remain sellers have a kind of a market. So any opportunity you find, if you want to short the market at these levels also, then probably you have a stop loss of 22,800, or probably when it crosses 22,850 and closes above 23,000, then you have a wide trade with a stop loss of 22,800. Those are two trades which will work out in the markets now until unless we start closing about 23,000 levels. I don't think we'll get this opportunity in the month of February. Anyways, now one day is left. Thursday, tomorrow, anyways, is a holiday, and we have a this expiry in terms of Nifty, at least Nifty and Bank Nifty at least on Thursday. We may have Sensex and Midcaps on Friday, but the two major indices which probably most of the market participant contribute, or let's say participate, is happening on Thursday. So it's a 1 day left. So now whatever shorts have to be covered, it will be covered on Thursday. That should happen. And March series, let's see how it starts. But the data says that last 7 out of 10 series in March have been remained positive. And since we have corrected a lot, might be there is some respite in March. But again, any rally which happens in March will always be circumstantial, because about this tariff which will continue to be there in the minds of people. The dates are approaching. I think 12th March, though 30 days will be over for Canada and Mexico. Then I think around 16 or 17 March, the days will be over for the steel and aluminum tariff date. And then again, we'll be entering into 2nd April kind of a thing where, a lot of tariffs on a lot of countries and which products, all kind of dilemma, all kind of surprises we'll be waiting for. So till 2nd week April, 1st week April, 2nd week April, anyways, the markets will remain nervous, and we don't know what kind of rally we can see in March, but still, it should give some kind of a respite, really. But we have to wait and see. The only reason why I say this is because the levels have come pretty close in terms of valuation, at least. Now, if you want to drag the markets below the valuation, that is fine. Then the equilibrium will be made subsequently in March or April, but sometime it will be made. And any fall from here on is actually giving you a golden opportunity to participate in the markets, because now you're trading at below the 5 years or 10 years average of the valuations, and now you're getting a good chance to enter into the Nifty stocks at least. I will still not recommend to enter very aggressively on mid caps and small caps. Mid cap still being neutral, it is still not very grossly overvalued, but small cap is still overvalued in terms of earnings and valuations. So I'll not at least recommend to enter any stocks of small caps until unless you find a relative value in particular stock. I'm just talking about the index part of things. Yesterday, I think a massive selling was done by FIs in terms of 6,200 crore kind of a cash selling. There were also sellers in indexes around 1,100 to 100 crores, but there were buyers in stock futures by around 1,900 crores. So net on derivatives, there were buyers. On cash, there was huge selling of 1,500 crores. Mostly it was participated, or let's say it was contributed by the IT stocks. Today also the IT index was down by around 0.7%. So if you'll see news of anything on the slowing down of US, IT index will be greatly impacted, and you will see those kind of selling IT. But IT also is now trading 200, below its 200 days exponential moving average. So I don't know how much of selling is still left out in the IT stocks. Probably a good amount of time damage and some kind of price damage has also been done on IT stocks also. But if US economy will look bad from here due to any reason, sticky inflation, higher interest rates, less growth, more tariff wars, if anything of these four factors will keep on happening, it will keep the IT index subdued. Although the commentary from the most of the IT companies in the con calls of this quarter has been that they are seeing a lot of green shoots in BFSI sector, and the earnings were also showing, because all the earnings of most of the companies in the BFSI sector was up on a QOQ basis also and YY basis also. So probably yes, there are some signs of recovery in BFSI sector, but if these 3-4 factors starts contributing to US slowdown, then IT sector will see some kind of nervousness. So we have to be very careful on how to deal with the IT sector as such. Apart from that, the other index which will remain nervous would be metals because of the dollar movement. Today also the metal index was negative by around 1.5%, and pharma also, because the tariffs announcement might happen at least for 10% on the Indian pharmaceutical companies. Although the companies have been continuously saying that they will pass on all the tariff which is going to increase to the US consumers, and that is probably rightly so also, because they are the ones who are starting this tariff wars, and probably they have to uh, you know bleed out of it. Nifty and Bank Nifty today was very small range, although only silver lining which I saw today was three, four things. One was VIX came down very sharply, around 4.5 to 5%, which means that probably the positions are getting squared off because expiry, and might be that we'll not see a big movement on Thursday. It's looking like that. It will happen or not happen, we don't know. But VIX being down is showing that the position are getting squared off, and probably we might not see a big firework on Thursday, but we have to just wait and see, because A lot of hedge funds are trying to nowadays create a lot of havoc on the expiry days. So we just be watchful on that day. Levels, anyways, I have told you, 22,500 will remain as a good support. If it breaches down, 22,300 is the next support, 250 to 300. On the upside, the resistance is around 22,800 to 850. So if we crosses that, it will give you a signal of some positiveness. Bank Nifty also today was trading on a very thin volumes, and probably we didn't see much of movement today. I don't know the reason why the movement was not sharp today, why the sellers didn't come today, because all the negative news was there today. The US markets didn't perform as we closed yesterday. It was showing a good amount of green percentage when we were closing, but the actual session did not pan out in that way. Rupee went around 55% down in today's afternoon session. Uh, we had this again warning from the Trump for the tariffs and all, but our markets today was not reacting at all. They were in no mood to react today. Probably would have reacted anyways in a long way. We don't know. We'll wait and see. But Asian markets were in pain, and probably they were reacting in that way. So overall, today's market, nothing much to be seen. Let's wait for the Nvidia results today. Let's see how the numbers again come out from the FIs in terms of cash selling and FNO, which we'll track again. Thursday will be a day to really watch in terms of what happens on expiry, and more importantly, how exactly we start our mass series. So those all things will be important. Apart from that, there are no triggers as such for India because the results season anyways is finished for us. We don't have to wait for any results for that, and there is hardly any trigger now for next 6-7 days. Only what Trump says or how he reacts can only be a trigger. So with this, I'll probably end my video today for today's analysis. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your time. Thanks.